Joining us this evening on the News Hour is Aditi James, wife of Sunil James, and Rakesh Marappa, brother-in-law of Sunil James. Aditi, Rakesh, good evening. First up to you, Aditi. Sense of relief?
Yes, a big sense of relief, a big satisfaction that the 5-month-long fight has finally come to an end. It's a big relief for all of us.
You think you will get the time to grieve for your loss now, and also you feel stronger than now that Sunil also will be back soon?
Definitely, yes. In all this fight that we had to fight for Sunil to be back, we actually put the grief of Vivan at the back set. I mean, we didn't pay attention to that because we had to be strong for this fight. Now when Sunil is back tomorrow, we'll have time to grieve for Vivan. We'll have time to accept the fact that Vivan is no more with us. Throughout this fight, we have not actually accepted the fact that Vivan is gone. But now we'll have to face realities of life.
And it's going to be tough, isn't it? And it's been a tough road last 5 months. Rakesh, what changed between August and December? You spent a lot of time in Togo also trying to secure Sunil's release. Tell us what changed.
Between August and December, quite honestly, nothing much changed at all. The only significant change that comes to mind is that the initial charges that were levied against Sunil were dropped. The abetment of piracy because of the lack of evidence, no proof, no nothing at all. So that it was significant at that point in time. But other than that, absolutely no movement at all. It still didn't take us any closer to having Sunil back in India.
But then what changed? Do you believe the government's intervention was a little too late? Had it been earlier, things would have been different?
Definitely. I think the Ministry of External Affairs took their own time, and I only believe that this was resolved because of the intervention of several very critical people, starting with the local MLA that we have here for the Congress, Aslam Sheikh, moving on to Sanjay Nirupam, who got us an audience with the Prime Minister's office, and then finally our Honorable Prime Minister himself, and Javed Ashraf, his Joint Secretary to the PMO's office. I think all of these individuals played a very, very critical role in actually securing Sunil's release. What the Ministry of External Affairs wasn't able to do in 5 months, all of these individuals put together pretty much accomplished about a week, a little more than a week.
Aditi, do you also feel because this matter became public and there were a lot of protests and you had a lot of public support going your way, that the government was forced to act?
Definitely, yes. When you fight alone, it takes time for people to notice you, for the government to notice you. When the whole country stands behind you, the media stands with you, it gives a lot of more pressure to the government and gives a lot of support to us. It's not one individual, it's the whole country that wants a decision to be taken.
Do you also get the feeling that every time an innocent Indian is picked up, you need a public outrage and a protest for the government to listen to you? Is that the state of affairs, and do you think that's good?
What I have seen is the public outrage always helps. Unless there is a public outrage, nobody takes notice of you, nobody takes you seriously. It's sad to know that unless there is a public outrage, you are not given any notice. But that's how it is.
Rakesh, it's been a tough experience for you, isn't it? And do you feel a little bit of, how do I say, I don't want to say anger, but a little bit of an irritant that you had to go through so much of pain and so much of trouble for things that could have been resolved much sooner, like you said, within the span of a week's time?
What I have is absolute unbridled rage. It's not even an irritant. I've never felt rage like this in my entire life. No woman should ever be put through what Aditi was put through. She didn't have the time to grieve for her own son, and she was running and fighting to secure her husband's relief. Why would anyone be put through something like that? It's beyond me.
Because you are Aditi's brother, your brother-in-law, you were there with your brother-in-law in Togo, you were seeing how Sunil was suffering. You believe more could have been done by the embassy there and by the Indian government there to ensure that at least he was kept well in prison, even if the Togo authorities said they don't want to release him?
Sure, but they could have done a lot more at that point in time, very early on. I get the fact that it's a judicial process and we aren't allowed to intervene in a judicial process. We wouldn't want another country intervening in our judicial process, and completely respect that. But just saying that it's a judicial process and therefore we can't do anything about it, that isn't a good enough reason to me. I think the Ministry of External Affairs should have at that point in time found out exactly what the problem was and at least come up with a plan to address that problem. And if they weren't able to do that, at least communicate to the family that these are the problems that we face and this is why we aren't able to do anything about the situation. But radio silence, when has that ever helped anyone?
And you felt that in terms of dealing with Sunil, how did he deal with the news of the loss of his son? Can you tell us when is he going to be arriving in India? Have you been able to speak to him post his release, Aditi?
I haven't spoken to him.
No. Even I haven't got a chance to speak to him post his release. He was released, I think, quite late last night, and he's already on a flight back to Mumbai. So I haven't got a chance to speak to him. But I'm sure he'll be having a lot of questions in his mind. The fact that he was not present and all this happened, he'll take a lot of time to accept the fact, to come to terms to this fact that Vivan is no more here. I cannot even begin to imagine his mental state right now or what trauma he must be going through. The only thing is, we as a family will give him full support and help him to come to terms with this loss.
I have to say, Aditi, you've been phenomenally strong. And Rakesh, do you believe that India as a country doesn't back its people as much as some other countries do, especially in times of distress like this?
I think that's pretty obvious for everyone to see, but the one thing that I can say is, at this point in time, India did come through, our government did come through for us. When we needed them, they did work us a miracle. We as a family wouldn't have been able to do anything. Sunil would not be back if not for the government. I must concede at least that much. I have a lot of respect for what they've done over the last 7 to 10 days.
You know, the one thing that you would like to tell the people and also the government, Aditi, along with the fact that they've helped bring your husband back, is there something that you would like to tell them?
Firstly, I'd like to thank the government, basically the PM's office, for intervening at the right time and giving a momentum to a fight and finally getting Sunil released from Togo. My only concern is the authorities that we met before meeting the PM. If they had shown this interest and they had shown concern about our problem, maybe this could have been resolved much earlier.
Go ahead. You had something else to say.
Also, I want to say to the people of the country that I'm very thankful for them to support me in this cause and to give me strength at this time when I needed it the most. I would also say that don't ever lose hope. I know there are many people there who are still struggling with their fights in life. I just want to tell them, don't lose hope, don't give up, keep fighting.
Aditi, Rakesh, you've been phenomenally strong and very, very resilient. And we are also happy that Sunil James is coming back and he is going to be with the family and you will be able to perform the funeral rites of your son, Vivan. Thanks for talking to us this evening.